Good morning, guys. I am here in the house, in the kitchen again. I'm Arlie. If you guys have never been here before, welcome. I am going to be preserving today. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we have to take care of. So recently we went to a farmer's market and had a fantastic time buying a ton of fruit, and the problem is we can't eat all of it before it goes bad. So I'm going to take the time today to make a few small batch jams out of like plums and peaches and pears and apples and stuff like that. And then I have a bunch of herbs that need to be preserved as well. So I'm going to dehydrate those. Right here, I'm getting started on the first one. I have a whole bunch of time in my hands. Oh my god, that's such a mom and garden joke. I don't even know where to begin. But I'm going to dry all of this thyme that I just washed. I'm going to work on some oregano and some green onions. And we're going to pop those into the dehydrator. I'm going to show you how that works. So spend the day together. Okay guys, so I have all the thyme inside of this salad spinner. Now I've soaked it for some time in my sink, and then I popped it into the salad spinner, and I'm just giving it a quick spin to make sure we remove all of that excess water. So we end up, see all the water is at the bottom of this from washing it, and we end up with this beautiful thyme. Let me see, I don't think you can see it well. Get some good light on it. Look at that. It's beautiful. It's so much. And it's so abundant right now that I have to take advantage of it. Okay. So all I'm going to do is separate this and put onto 2 trays. I may have cut off more than I should have, but that's okay. Smush it down just a little bit. And then a second tray. I'm just going to trim this part here off, because these are just empty stems. They're not doing anybody any good. Now, this thyme that I grew is lemon thyme. So it's a little lemonier than the others, than a German thyme. But oh my gosh, I love this, and with chicken, it is so amazing. It looks scraggly, but believe it or not, it's ready to go into the dehydrator. Now I'm going to work on the oregano and the green onions. Okay guys, so this is my oregano tree, and it is beautiful. It's so bushy. And these are my green onions. Now I already trimmed off the thyme, and I took off a whole chunk that was hanging off the edge. I still have a whole bunch there, but I'm not going to get into that just yet. This is what I'm going to work on next, and these guys. Okay, perfect. Let's get these guys processed, and let's get them in the dehydrator. Okay guys, so now that these have soaked and I've washed them off thoroughly, you see these little buds? They're about to go to seed, and that's what we want to avoid. So I'm just going to pop that off and leave it alone. And just pick through them and go putting them in one by one into the salad spinner to make sure that there's no little frinds sitting in there, little crawlies. And then I'm just going to keep going, washing through all of these and drying them off in the salad spinner so that we can get it into the dehydrator. Okay guys, so now I'm splitting half onto the tray, and the other half will go onto a second tray, and then we'll put them into the dehydrator. Okay, so for the green onions, all I'm gonna do is into the same salad spinner, or just here, I'm gonna show you, is cut them into chunks like that. About an inch and a half long. And then we're going to put them in the salad spinner and do the exact same thing we did with the other herbs and just pop them onto a tray and get them into the dehydrator. I'm going to do this for the rest of them. Okay guys, so I purchased this dehydrator recently. In the past, what I would do is just hang these with some twine in bundles and let them dry. And the onion tops, I never even bothered to dry them because I would just puree them up or just use them added into any dishes. But after watching Becky on Acre Homestead and showing all the benefits of being able to dehydrate your own food, I decided to just go ahead and make that purchase. I bought this one. This one holds up to 8 trays, but I'm only using 6 right now for the herbs. I'm doing 2 and 2. So up here, this little guide up here, I don't know if you can see it, shows you the temperature ranges, and then it comes with a book that gives you an idea. Now I want them very dry. So I'm going to be, oh, I have to plug it in. Give me a second, guys. Bloopers. The things we forget to do. Oh, yeah. There it is. All right. My bad. Okay, so I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to set it for 110 degrees for 10 hours. And we're going to let that run. And in 10 hours, we'll see where we're at. Okay guys, so you can see I had 3 peaches, a nectarine, and a little basket of plums left. Now we tried so hard, but between the mangoes and the watermelons and the pineapple and the papaya and everything else, it was just too much fruit. So I'm going to make a stone fruit jam out of this. And it's going to be so delicious. Okay guys, so for this, we're going to use our peaches, our nectarines, and our plums. Now, they are not in the greatest shape. They are not extremely perfect. They have been sitting in the fridge for some time. So they're ripe, but you know, they're a little overripe, which is fine. All we're going to do now is come in here and remove the stone pit from the center. See that? And I just cut it in half and pulled this out. Discard it. Now, if you wanted to peel this and not have the peels, that's perfectly fine. What you would do before you even cut it in half to remove the pit is score the bottom of the fruit and blanch it in some boiling water for about 30 seconds. The peel will come right off. I'm not going to do that because I don't have pectin to add to this. So I'm going to use the natural pectin in the skins of the fruit. And all I'm going to do now is just kind of give this a little bit of a rough chop and toss it directly into my little pot here. I'm not using a big pot because this is a small batch. If you had more fruit, obviously, you know, use what you got. Cut it in half, twist, and that's what you get. And then come in here and just kind of pry out this pit. Okay? If you see any funky spots in your fruit, cut it out. See that? Take that out right there. Discard that little pit part. That's kind of ugly. This is another one that's not so pretty. See, it's got a yucky brown spot right there, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim that out. And that's it. None of this is going to go to waste. This tastes so good. And it's actually, because it's a little bit overripe, it's at such peak sweetness right now. Oh, it's going to be a delicious jam. Now, because these aren't firm, I would not use them for like a cobbler or a pie, which is why I'm doing this. So it's going to cook down anyways with some sugar, and it's going to be delicious. Look at this nectarine. It's so beautiful. it's giving you a hard time, cut around it. Okay guys, so I decided with this one I'm not gonna add white sugar to it. Instead I'm going to add agave syrup. And to this, because it is so sweet, it's kind of like a honey consistency, a little bit looser, but it's a great supplement and it's lower glycemic than honey or sugar. So to this I'm gonna add a cup. Okay. Traditionally, you would add lemon juice to this, at least the juice of half a lemon or a lemon. I don't have that. I have these mandarins that need to be used up, so that's what I'm going to add, is the juice of one mandarin or a clementine, and that's going to add that citrusy note to it that'll help cut through a lot of that rich sweetness. We're going to turn this up to a medium high heat, and we're going to let it come up to a simmer, stirring it constantly. I'm not going to go too far away from this. It needs to keep an eye on so that the sugars don't overboil. So keep an eye on it, moving it every so often. Grab my trusty spoon and stirring it, making sure that it's cooking down lovingly. So I have my blender in the sinks just so that I don't make a bigger mess than I've already made. And I'm going to pour the fruit mixture into the blender. I don't want this to be a chunky jam, so I'm going to blend it, make it completely smooth, and then I'm going to strain it back into the pot. Once we bring it back up to a simmer, we're going to use just a good spoon, and all of this foam that's on the top, we need to remove that, because that's not going to leave a smooth jam. It's going to give it a weird funky texture, and we don't want that funky texture. So let's take all of that out. And it's almost done. It's nice and thick. We're almost there. For the jams, I like to use these little jars. They're 4 ounces and they're quilted and pretty, but they don't have to be quilted. But these little 4-ounce jars just ensures that when we're going to use it for breakfast one morning or to add to toast, all I'm going to do is use this amount and the rest stays preserved, and it lasts a lot longer than that. If I were to use like a pint jar or something bigger and I'm opening it up, I have to use it within a couple of weeks or else it's going to go bad. And I can also use it to just give like a little taste or a little gift to somebody that comes over. Like with my friend the other day that I sent her home with some hot sauce. The little ones are honestly my favorite. The jars have been sterilized. They're nice and hot, so we want to be extra careful. I'm doing that because we're adding a hot liquid to it, and we don't want them to crack or burst. And I'm filling it just to the rim. Fill it to just this rim right here. We're gonna let those simmer away for 10 minutes. and then we're gonna pull them out and let them come to room temperature overnight. Check it out, guys. Peach, nectarine, and plum jam. Oh my god, shut up. It's so good. You guys have to try that. It is so good. Like, God. Oh my god, you have to try it. There you have it, guys. 4 jars of beautiful, delicious jam made from plums, nectarine, and peaches that were gonna go bad, that were just a little overripe, so you couldn't just quite take a bite out of it. But I turned it into something fantastic that we're gonna be using on our Sunday morning breakfast as a family, and during the week to spread on some toast and just give a bright flavor to our food. It's nice and sweet and tart, and it's delicious. Thank you so much for joining. I really love sharing this with you. I think that we don't need to waste food if we don't have to. And if we can help each other come up with different ways to create delicious foods and delicious things without tossing out food that we have in the fridge, then we're just making the world better. So thank you so much for joining again. I hope you have enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. I love it. And ring that bell so that you can get notified. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.